As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to go over why my 14-year-old Shih Tzu lost his eye right before, and I'm doing this because I was trying to think of what eye it was, and I was thinking in my head while I was talking to you guys, so sorry. Lost his eye when he was almost 14 years old. He is 14 now, but when he was about a week, I would say, before his 14th birthday, give or take a little bit, is when he lost it. But I was just going to give you guys the story. I know you guys have seen him on videos in the past and everything like that. I have had him for 13 and a half years. I got him when he was 6 months old, and I've had him ever since. But let's just get started with the story. Back in, I want to say August, and sorry, I'm trying to think and put the timeline together because it's all kind of, you know, a blur and everything. He got a scratch on his, which eye is it? I want to say it's his right eye. And he's nothing he hasn't had before. He's had a scratch on his eye in the past. We go to the vet, he gets medicine, and it gets better. So he got a scratch on his eye this time, did the same thing, took him to the vet, and he got medicine. It looked like it was getting better. And then I think I called the vet and said, hey, can we re-prescribe it? It looks like it was looking like it's getting better, but now it's starting to look like it's getting worse again. So before I bring him back in, can we prescribe the two eye drops for him again? I think one's an antibiotic and one's something else. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I still have them up there. And so he did. We went by, we picked him up and everything, and continued to put him in there. And then about, I'm going to say a week later, it just looked like it was getting worse and worse. So I took him back to the vet. And at that time, he had an ulcer on his eye, which wasn't there previously, but within a day or two of him having the ulcer, I took him back to the vet, and the vet said, oh yeah, let's try to save it. I don't really want to put him under because of his age, and I know a few back in maybe May, I think, they said that they did hear a heart murmur on him as well. So he was just afraid that if he put him under, that he would not wake up, pretty much. Older dogs, you don't want to put them under as much, stuff like that, because you don't want to take a chance of them not waking up or anything. So he sewed his third eyelid to where it was shut and said, let's just try to save it, do this, go ahead and put the drops in it, continue to put the drops in it. So came home, sorry if you hear screaming. Malachi is supposed to be taking a nap, but if he doesn't take a nap, he at least has to have quiet time back in his bed. So what he's supposed to be doing is quiet time, sorry. But we brought him back home. He had that sewed shut, and me and Malachi had went to the Science Museum one day. And I came home and one of the stitches popped. They said if a stitch popped, then to bring him back in, which I did. And when they put the stitches in, because they don't want to put him under because of his age, they just gave him some gas. He did fine doing the gas and doing that, and gave him some pain medicine. We sewed it shut, and he said, let's come back. Well, initially from the first time before the stitch came out, the first time, he said, let's give him, I think it was a week, maybe like 6 or 7 days. And so when I brought him back that Thursday or Friday to get the stitch put back in, he said, let's leave it for a couple more days, which would have brought it to like Tuesday or Wednesday then of him having it sewed shut. But took him back in, sorry, Piper's right there, took him back in to the vet at that time. When they told me to, kept putting the drops in, tried to make sure he didn't scratch it, do anything like that. And it wasn't the vet that we normally see, the guy, it was a girl that was in there. And she came in, and she was like, she took the stitches out and wanted to look at it, and she said, she's like, it still doesn't look very good. We can put the stitches back in and try to save it, try a few more weeks to try to save it, or we would have to remove it. The reason being that they have to remove it when it has an ulcer like that and has some coming in, they just don't want the dog to be in pain, which is understandable. You don't want to be in pain. Sorry about that. That's my alarm letting me know it was Malachi's nap time. or that he should be asleep by now so I could check, but I'm looking at the monitor anyways. And to give Sam his medicine, which I've already done before I did this. And not for his eye, just his other medicine. And so we took him back in, and she was like, she said, I don't think, we can try again and put it back in for another week and see. She's like, there's a blood vessel going to it that looks like it's trying to heal, but as big as it is, initially when the other doctor came in and asked me, I was kind of iffy. I didn't think that it was going to heal, and I still am iffy if it's going to heal because it's so big. But if you want to try to save it, let's do it again for another week, and then if not, and then if it doesn't heal by then or doesn't look a lot better by then we would have to remove it. And I said, okay. So it was, when we go to the vet, usually it's closer till 5 o'clock because my mom comes and gets us and takes us to the vet, so I don't have to take like an Uber Pet or something like that there since I don't have a car. And so I was like, okay, she was like, can you bring him back in the morning? And I was like, well, I can try to take an Uber or something in the morning, but I don't know if I can bring him back in the morning. I can bring him back, and I don't know. I was like, I can make it work if we absolutely need to. I was like, she goes, well, why don't you just leave him here tonight, and then we can sew it up, and then you guys can come get him tomorrow evening. And I said, okay, that'll work. Sorry, I was looking at Rover and seeing where he's at. That's what Malachi calls our little floor vacuum. But so after coming home that night and leaving him there, they give him some anxiety medicine because I was afraid he was going to bark the whole night, which he probably would have. And they do have somebody come check on them and make sure they're not just freaking out, so they can give them some more medicine and stuff. I left him there, and I just got to thinking, I was like, she doesn't sound like it's going to heal. This dog has been in pain for maybe, he does take a pain pill and an arthritis pill as well because of his age. Not a strong pain pill, it's just gabapentin. It's like a nerve pain deal that helps him because he's got arthritis and stuff, and that would help with that pain as well. I just don't want him to be in pain anymore. If they don't think it's going to heal, then there's no reason to try to save it because they don't feel confident that it's trying to heal. So maybe we should just take it out. And I called and I consulted with a couple of other family members, and they agreed with me. They were like, yes, I think if they're not confident that it's going to heal his age, let's just get him out of pain. I think you're right, making the right decision if that's what you decide to do. So I called them that next morning and said, can I talk to the vet and just see if maybe we can remove the eye instead of trying to save it? Because you guys don't seem confident in that it's going to heal. If you guys can come back to me and say, hey, I'm confident that it's going to heal and he's not in pain or anything, then we can try to save it. But if not, then, and he's in pain and you're not confident that it's going to heal, because it still looked horrible when we were in that day before. So to me, it did not look like it was going to heal. It looked horrible, and I just felt bad for him. So they said okay, and they decided that morning just to go ahead and remove his eye. They kept him there that day until my mom picked him up later that day to bring him home. And then once he got home, he did have a cone on his head and everything. We kept the cone on him for about 2 weeks, which was hard for him. He could sleep in it and everything. It was just hard because, him trying to move around and stuff like that. It didn't seem like he wasn't out of it to where he was running into things and stuff, but I don't think he could see out of that eye anyways. So I think it was just, he was definitely used to it. He seemed, once he got the cone off of his head, because he was kind of not wanting to eat and stuff during recovery because of the cone. Yes, I'd take the cone off when he was eating and just make sure he didn't scratch it, but still, having a cone on your head kind of makes a dog depressed. But he went through the 2 weeks. We took him back to get the stitches out, and he has done wonderful since. I'm not saying he still doesn't have arthritis. He still doesn't have, that kind of stuff, but I get him medicine well, I order it every couple of months, and the doctor prescribes it, and I give it to him twice a day, and also give him some CBD oil. I also give the puppy some CBD oil because it just seems to help calm her mind and stuff as well. But I give Sam the gabapentin and the Rimadyl and that, and it seems to help him. And I think he's much happier with it out because he's not in pain anymore. I mean, I hate to say that because I did not want him to lose his eye. I did not want him to lose it, especially, you know, a week before his 14th birthday. But I do think it was the best thing for him, and I do think he is out of pain, and I think he is just much happier. I mean, he's still in his happy self. He has better days where he wants to be a little more spunky and not, you know, not as good days, but that's what an older dog, you know, all you can do with an older dog, and other than that, he is doing good. But I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time of why my Shih Tzu lost his eye before his 14th birthday. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit that red subscribe button down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's any other videos that you would like to see. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.